All right, don't get cold feet, kids. We are walking down the aisle of our last of the round one summer tournament episodes, and it is going to be a real house party, a slaughterhouse party with a battle that is 1 part revenge, 2 parts blood splatter. Let's do it. Welcome to another Who Would Win Masters. I'm Sam Proof on all the socials, and in this episode, representing Miramax, the assassin who proves that wedding crashers can be a real buzzkill, the lady who said, "Till death do us part, hold my beer." It's the bride. Speaking of buzzkill and representing Vortex, straight from a very disturbing family dinner, the handyman who takes save face too literally, it's Leatherface. Now, I wouldn't want to be slicing through this tournament bracket alone, so joining me in the booth is a man who always takes the cake, wedding or not. Here he comes, Ray Stacanis. Ray, welcome back to my side of the world. This is the last of the first round matches. How are you feeling about the summer tournament so far?
I'm feeling like no matter how much wedding cake I've eaten, it's always disappointing. Why are wedding cakes always very bad?
Because they should be wedding pie or brownie.
You know, at my wedding, we had wedding donuts, you know.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is our traditional birthday around here, is either brownies or donuts. Yeah.
That's
Cake
right.
is 18th century.
No, I'm excited for this battle for reasons we'll get into as the battle begins to unfold. I will say right now, I'm a fan of every single one of these summer tournament battles. I am a bigger fan of this summer tournament battle. Yeah. This is the one I've been waiting for. I didn't plan that we would do this one fourth. It just worked out that way. But this is the main event as far as I'm concerned.
Nice. Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of anticipation to this one. And I think it's partly because people just know it was coming. And that's a thing.
That's right. Ever since we had that selection show, I had this date, even though I didn't know what it is, circled on my calendar.
All right, well, let's get into today's tale of the tape and then introduce our competitors, our debaters, if you would take it away, Ray.
We should do that because today's tale of the tape is brought to you by that couch you found in your early 20s that you went ahead and brought home. Sure, you may have a great job, family, and a small amount of disposable income now, but remember back in the day when you found that couch in an alley or by the side of the road and said, you know what, I'm bringing that bad boy into my apartment today. Wasn't that the best couch you've ever had? I mean, probably not, but that couch had character. Sure, it sagged in the middle and probably was crawling with bed bugs you never saw, but it looked fine. And you were broke, so it was great. So when next considering your furniture needs, why not give finding a couch in an alley a try? In an unrelated story, I have a couch I'm trying to get rid of that I've stashed in an alley by my house. Anyway, give it a try. Nostalgia. All right. Today we have the fourth of 4 first-round matches for the Who Would Win Masters Summer Tournament. In one corner, we have The Bride, Quentin Tarantino's deadly assassin and lead character of the Kill Bill movies. Beatrix, the bride Kiddo, was a member of the deadly Viper assassination squad when she got pregnant. This caused her to leave the squad for the sake of the baby and get married to somebody else. Her older leader and lover, Bill, was not having it, though. So he ordered her and her fiancé. She survived, however, and went on a revenge quest for the ages that spanned 2 films. Now, The Bride was created by Quentin Tarantino and Uma Thurman, officially, and first appeared in the movie Kill Bill back in 2000.
And repping The Bride today is, of course, comedian and beach hunk Kevin Israel. Kevin, welcome back. Are you ready for this battle?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome back.
I feel bad for Robert Clark, but look, sometimes you pull an unfortunate card, but I'm here to do what we do.
All right. Well, without further ado, Ray, continue on.
I will, because the other side of this battle, we have Leatherface. Leatherface is a monstrous member of a family of cannibals who capture and torment people, regular people, in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series of movies. Often seen as the original masked slasher, Leatherface has been a cultural icon for generations. He was created by Tobe Hooper and Kim Henkel and first appeared in the movie The Texas Chainsaw Massacre back in 1974.
Now, You don't actually have me actually introduce Chan. It just goes straight into asking him a question. So we all know Chan is here because he is the ghost of the podcast. But of course, welcome back, Robert Clark Chan. Chan.
Hold on.
What?
When you say ghost, are you talking like
you are the haunt,
like spectral, scary?
Yes,
you talking
very
about
much
like
the scary.
Whoopi Goldberg?
We're talking about the mercenary soldier from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
That's fair too.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it scares us, I think. Now, Chan, you famously had Craven the Hunter in your hand during the selection process for the show, and you threw it away for a one-shot random draw that landed you on Leatherface. How are you feeling coming into this match?
Listen, two things. I'm not gonna get handed an easy win. I don't want this to look like like the deck has been stacked in my favor. Already, it looks like it's stacked in my favor because you put me up against Kevin Israel. This is going to be a cakewalk.
Wow!
In any that's just a fact. I'm sorry, but
Cakewalk.
then
Dang it,
I'm just gonna tie an arm behind my back. You know
All
what?
Right.
And
wow.
Also, though, no, I mean, honestly, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of slasher films. Love them.
Okay.
I have watched all of the slasher films. I've seen the Jason one. I saw the one with the guy who's got the things on his fingers.
Yeah, Edward Scissorhands.
There's one with Edward Scissorhands. Yes, I watched all of those films. Batman, Big Fish.
That's right.
All the slasher films that people know.
Yeah.
And now, here we are, ready to take this on.
Okay.
I couldn't be more excited right now. So tell you what, before I forget and start going too fast, here are the rules of Who Would Win Masters in under a minute.
Great. Here are your rules for Who Would Win Masters in 1 minute. Number 1, there will be 3 timed rounds with counterpoints allowed. Number 2, characters will have no prior knowledge of their opponent and no outside interference will be allowed. Number 3, keep the characters in character. Outliers and crossovers will be given less weight. Number 4, battles can be won by death, knockout, battlefield removal, or incapacitation. And number 5, after the battle, I will give my unofficial opinion as to who wins and why. However, I am just one voice. It will be up to all of you on our social media and our Patreon to make your voices heard as to who won. All right, and Kevin is walking away. He's out of here. He's leaving.
He's already given up.
Already conceding. He's got the white flag right there.
Go home now.
There was a massive spider crawling up my monitor.
Oh my gosh!
That's a bad omen.
I feel like I'm being sabotaged here, and now
it's
I don't know
you're
where.
in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house right now.
Yeah, this is how brave I am. Now I'm just going to assume the spider is in my shirt for the rest of the time. All right. Sorry about that.
Here's the deal. We theoretically flipped a coin before we started, and Kevin Israel is going to start us off. Robert Clark Chan will be going second. There will be 1 minute counterpoints for each of them. I don't think there's anything else to add, Sam. I'm ready to do this.
Yeah. Kevin, 3 minutes on the clock. Take us to church.
Let's go. All right. My opponent is representing Fear, a 7-foot mountain of muscle wearing a human face and carrying a chainsaw. Listen, if this was a competition of looks, absolutely Leatherface would win. He's intimidating. He's terrifying. He is a walking monster and one of the original slasher creatures that kept us all awake at night. Unfortunately, this isn't about looks. This is about who can actually win a battle and survive between these two. And I'm representing something so much worse than a guy wearing another person's face. The bride, she's not a victim. She's not what Leatherface is used to. She is the hunter. She is the one who went after people making her life miserable and trying to end her. She survived betrayal. She survived a bullet to the head. She survived a bullet to the head. Think about that. And 4 years in a coma. She was buried alive. And then she systematically hunted down and defeated some of the most deadly assassins in the world. Leatherface kills unsuspecting teenagers. The bride kills professional killers. These are two very different resumes. The bride is a professional. Leatherface is a hobbyist. That's what we're comparing right now. So let's start with the simple facts. She's a better fighter. She is a warrior. She is trained. She was, you put these two in an empty room. Who's the better fighter? It's clearly not Leatherface. Sure, he's strong. Sure, he's intimidating. He is not an assassin. He is just a big, lumbering, scary guy with a chainsaw. She trained under one of the greatest martial arts ever in her universe. She put her body through a rigorous, grueling training process, turning herself into a weapon and enabling herself to use anything as a weapon. And then she put that training to the test. She worked as a professional assassin, and all Leatherface has is a chainsaw and his girth, which really doesn't compare. She also has a Hattori Hanzo sword, one of the sharpest, most deadly blades ever made. He's got a chainsaw. You can get that at a Home
30
Depot.
seconds remaining.
It just doesn't compare. She killed a slew of deadly assassins, including dozens in one sitting, and continued. She didn't just survive, she wins. So yes, he's bigger, he's scarier, but she is absolutely deadlier. It's not really a comparison. She is the superior fighter. She is trained. She's prepared. She's fought much, much more difficult opponents than this. She won't be scared and she won't be intimidated.
All right, Chan, you have 1 minute for your counterpoint before you go into your actual point. So 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
You say that he's never faced competition like this, but neither has she. She's a hired assassin, sure. And who do you send assassins after? CEOs, rich people. You don't send them after enormous lumbering monsters. It's rich people killing other rich people. The only time she ever had any real competition, yes, is when she's facing the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. But they are also killers. They are. I'm just gonna say it, they're in a different frickin' weight class. If you put a little guy, okay, have you seen Bloodsport? The little monkey guy versus the sumo wrestler. Who wins? The sumo wrestler. She just does not have the power to take down Leatherface.
All right, good counterpoint. And now you get your first point for Leatherface. 3 minutes on the clock, starting now.
All right, we're going to talk about the physicals here. Leatherface, as you say, he's a 7-foot mountain of muscle. He's intimidating. He's fear-inspiring. He crashes through doors and walls like he's the Kool-Aid man. I don't think that the bride is going to be doing that. Sure, she's going to run away. She's going to run through halls, and he'll just going straight through him, just like he's Mean Joe Green. Because this is 1974, so we're going to talk about football players from the olden days. He rips cars apart with his bare hands. He lifts people over his head easily, generally to put them on hooks. And you know what? Here's the thing. He lives in a slaughterhouse. I'm going to argue that this fight's going to be taking place in a slaughterhouse. Plenty of hooks around to leave a little girl in a Bruce Lee outfit on. He runs fast. He's not a slow guy. His whole thing is chasing people who should be faster than him. Turns out they're not. You can, like, he's been knocked out. He's had his leg hacked near clean off, and he's still chasing. The bride is going to be doing a lot of running, and he's going to catch her. I mean, he's not Jason X, but he is the OG slasher who gets back up. You can't escape him. In fact, I would argue that his speed is tied intrinsically to his stealth as well. He sneaks up behind people, spooks them, and then kills them. Like he's constantly cutting off people's heads before they can react, before they can get out of his way. And even when they're on high alert, when they're looking for him, he's also tough. He smashes his head against trees for fun. He sews a face onto his own face without reacting to the pain. He takes multiple gunshots, some of which he blocks with his chainsaw. Speaking of the chainsaw, I do think it is absolutely the equal of a Hattori Hanzo sword. We're not going to have, the chainsaw get chopped into.
30 seconds
It's going to be
remaining.
a lightsaber fight kind of situation. These are iconic weapons, for heaven's sake. This thing cuts through wood, metal, doors, cuts through motorcycles, and it absolutely cuts through human beings. He also does a cool thing sometimes where he slides it along the floor to cut off people's feet. It's a lot of fun. Also, he's got a family, sometimes known as the Sawyers or the Slaughters. I'm not going to argue that they're going to be a huge part of this, but they will probably get involved and probably make things harder for the bride.
All right, Kevin, you have 1 minute for your counterpoint. 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Run away? Run away? Did you even see the Kill Bill movies? She doesn't run away. She runs at her opponents with a sword pointed at their face. There's no running away. She's fearless. She's faced death and gotten up and laughed and then gone on to kill more people. She's not going to run away from some big guy with a garden tool and someone else's mug slapped on their skull. This isn't even in the same league. What are we doing here? How are we even talking about this? He's going to slide a chainsaw along the floor. She'll jump over it. She balanced on a beam and battled a bunch of ninjas. This isn't even the same league. I feel bad. I feel like Ray went to a preschool playground and just starts punting kids. And then people ask, how's he going to win? How's he going to win? Because he's just better. And so is she.
All right. It's a strong start.
A short one.
Yeah, that was good. It's a strong start, guys. A lot of really good points paid about fear and
This has
swords.
been super
and lack
strong,
of...
Sam. Let me say,
Yeah.
I'm so excited at the end of round one because I thought about this from both perspectives coming in. What would I do in either of these two chairs? And the answer is basically exactly what the two of these competitors just did.
Yes.
Those are the exact arguments I would have made for point number one. Where the sauce is really going to get made in this one, though, is going to be points number 2 and 3. This was a really nice feeling each other out kind of a round. And I honestly don't have a favorite either way right now, despite what Kevin Israel might think about his character compared to the other one. Honestly, I think this is extremely even so far, and it's really going to come down to some strong counterpoints and some good, clean hits during the points themselves.
Yeah,
I don't want to give away any of my secrets.
No, don't.
But what Kevin was saying earlier about Ray going around and punting little children in a playground, I feel like that's a very Leatherface kind of vibe. So I'm really hoping that Ray sort of like locks in on that, thinks of himself punting little children and going, yeah, this is my dude, this is my guy.
Yeah, right. Will invoking Ray punting children on the playground work against Kevin? It might.
Yeah, it's possible. He could lean into that. We'll see. I will say the only thing that stuck out, I feel very similar to Ray. I had a lot of those thoughts as well. The only thing that stuck out is, as per the rules, there will be no outside interference, so the family's probably not there. And it's probably not taking place in a slaughterhouse that is not neutral enough, but maybe
we're not going to do it at the Sawyer cabin. That's not where this battle's taking place.
Maybe an outside area with a barn nearby is acceptable. Right. But we'll
Sam,
find out.
What about the House of 1,000 Corpses? Can we just host it there? Is that neutral territory?
I never saw that, but I would be willing to do a fun house with a lot of mirrors. That sounds great.
Listen, when you're the underdog, sometimes you're going to grab a handful of sand and throw it in somebody's eyes. Is it going to hit?
Save it.
Maybe.
Save it.
Probably not, but hey, we're going to try.
All right, let's go to break and we'll come back and see what happens in point number 2. All right, we are back. Kevin, you will start us off again in your point number 2. 3 minutes on the clock, starting now.
First of all, I love the fact that right before the break, Ray suggested that he could do anything just like me, which we know is ludicrous. Anyway, on with the argument that I shouldn't even have to make. Let's talk about the bride's resilience. Now, yeah, she is a survivor, unlike every other child that Leatherface has faced that just ran and cried and screamed for their mama. She is resilient. In the hypothetical wild world that Leatherface somehow lands a punch or a kick or a cut with his clippers, whatever the thing is that he throws around, let's just say that happens. It's not going to stop her. She got shot in the head from point blank range and lived, and then got out of a coma, willed herself to walk, run, and kill purely out of pure rage and a sense of revenge and justice. And you think she can't stand up to Leatherface and his just psycho behavior? It's not even the same. She is the ultimate survivor. She's been beaten, stabbed. She was shot, also nearly point blank range, with a shotgun and then buried. And you know what she did? She punched her way out of the coffin with her bare hands and her manicure and dug up, this is nearing superhuman ability, what she did. Got out, and that same night went and killed one of the deadliest assassins. All in one evening. She did that all in one evening. That's enough for anybody's lifetime to pull off. Ray doesn't do that in a year, and she did it in a couple of hours. And you think that she can't go toe-to-toe and survive a battle with a fat gardener? Like, come on. This is crazy to me. Honestly, what are we talking about? A psycho with a hedge trimmer against a ninja assassin. This isn't even, we're not even on the same playing field. I feel like I'm battling a Make-A-Wish kid and he doesn't have any wishes left. It's nuts to me. So yeah, she's going to survive. She was burned alive. Most people, one of these things in a horror movie would have ended that character. And
30 seconds remaining.
Just kept going and kept fighting and kept proving herself. She fights in the blood and the muck and the gore, everything that Leatherface revels in, and it doesn't faze her because she is a survivor. She's indomitable. And that's what this whole movie is about. It's about her drive not to stop and to get her goal. And that's the difference of all of other Leatherface's other victims. They just gave up and they let themselves get killed.
All right, Chan, you get a 1 minute counterpoint, 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Tough, you say. Shot in the head, you say. Very true. She survived a shot in the head. It took her 4 years to come back from that. I don't know. Let me check real quick. Let me check the rules real quick. Is this a 4-year long fight? No, it's not. It's much shorter than that. Also, you know what? She did get shot with a shotgun, full of salt. She got shot with Morton's and ended up getting buried. That's kind of impressive, I guess. You're calling him a Make-A-Wish kid? You're calling Leatherface a Make-A-Wish kid? Sure, he's a child fighting cancer. Do you know of anyone braver in the world? I challenge you to tell me that a Make-A-Wish kid fighting cancer isn't the bravest person ever.
Fair point.
That's
All right.
one of the boldest counterpoints I've ever heard.
Unexpected.
Why are you making this? I'm
going
to get so canceled because of this.
Yeah. So, Kevin, I thank you for coming on the show. Every one of your future stand-up appearances has just been revoked.
Handful of sand. Handful of sand.
Wow. All right. Chan is...
Dude, we were going to book Kevin Israel, but did you hear he hates Make-A-Wish kids?
and loves cancer. Good God.
Whatever.
Right.
Ray kicks little kids in preschools.
It's true. This is
Somehow not as bad.
I have the video.
All right, Jan, you have your whole second point still ahead of you. So 3 minutes on the clock, starting now.
All right, let's talk about what Leatherface represents. Leatherface is the product of post-war affluence. This is after everything is falling apart after World War II. There's no more picket fences. There's no more nuclear families. No more Camelot. Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes out right as Watergate breaks, right as the Vietnam War is collapsing all of culture around us. The energy crisis is represented by the rundown gas station. Global warming is represented by the heat, by that armadillo that's on the pavement. World hunger is represented by there's a dinner in this movie, and this is a family show, so I'll just leave it at that. America in 1974 is a country on the verge of collapse. The Texas in which Chainsaw Massacres happens is a place where capitalism has failed. The slaughterhouse is shut down, the jobs are gone, and a bunch of rich city folk wander into a rural town left behind by the country, by the world, by modernity. Part of what Texas Chainsaw Massacre, part of why it remains relevant, is because it's a snapshot of America at a very specific time. It's a welling up of the fears, not only of the 70s, but of a deeper, older, very American fear. The Puritans were scared of everything. They were scared of the God. They were scared of nature. They were scared of showing a little ankle at church. But more than anything, they were scared of the indigenous people of America. Indigenous people were seen as savage, bloodthirsty, and cannibalistic. Fast forward 100 years, and you have the rise of the hunter-savior myth. You might recognize Natty Bumppo. It's the same guy who wrote The Last of the Mohicans, but you'll certainly remember Daniel Boone. Boone is the classic hunter-savior. He's become one with nature, and he saves the morally righteous but physically weak pioneer family. Think Little House on the Prairie if they had Rambo protecting them. Leatherface is the inversion of this myth. Daniel Boone uses his knowledge of the environment to save the fair maiden from the bloodthirsty Indians. Leatherface does the exact opposite. Moreover, he embraces the fear of indigenous folk as cannibals. He has centuries of fear all rolled into one. What does the bride represent? In a word, entitlement. This is a woman who made her living murdering people, now mad that someone's trying to murder her. She's
30 seconds remaining.
White woman. The entire movie. I want revenge. I want a sword. I want my baby. You can practically hear her screaming, I want to speak to your manager. The bride, Beatrix Kiddo, is the dictionary definition of a Karen. Who are you rooting for here?
Wow, that was...
He's walking off.
Walks off.
That's it.
He doesn't even need to hear the counterpoint.
Doesn't need it.
All right, he's back. Should we just move into Kevin's
I think we need Kevin Israel needs to get a 1
Yeah.
minute counterpoint here.
All right, Kevin, 1 minute on the clock, starting now.
I'm just confused what show I'm on. I thought we were on a show about two people fighting. I didn't know this was a political science class. Watergate? Post-war affluence energy crisis? A snapshot of a Puritans? What the hell are you talking about, man? This is about two people fighting. This isn't a gubernatorial debate. What the hell was that? Yes, listen, honestly, yes, if we were going to be arguing social theory, you might have a chance. But we're talking about two people slaughtering each other, and I think you need to get your facts straight. First of all, the bride represents feminine power dominating the patriarchy. So if you have a problem with women, maybe you should tell all the female listeners that, and they can go after you like they're going to go after me about the Make-A-Wish kid. We can all get assassinated for this. But the fact is that no matter what fancy words you want to wrap around Leatherface, he's going to end up dead at the end of a sword because
Wow, that was one of the most avant-garde point twos I think I've ever seen in the history of this show. You know, Kevin comes with some really strong, honestly, some very strong feats from the movies, some really strong determination feats. Chan, I believe he argued that Beatrix Kiddo would go there, which I think is really interesting. And you came out with 3 minutes of I'm not sure. 2 minutes into it, I said, what is happening? And then somehow you tied it all in and made it work. And at the end of your point number 2, I was like, I get finally what he was doing, and I'm here for it. Now, I would argue that for point number 3, both of you need to buckle down on paths to victory. That's the big thing I would want to see. I haven't really heard a specific one from either of you. I'd love to hear. Now, we've talked a little bit about the particulars and about the people they fought and about patriarchy, but I would like to hear why you think at the end of the day, what's the deciding factor in why your character beats the other one? That's what I'll say.
Yeah. And do it without all of us getting canceled for everything.
No, I can't believe at this point I'm the least problematic person on this show.
Wait, I'm not?
That's crazy.
What the? It's
Sam, not everyone loves cats. So
Wow, that is. Oh, that's it. I can't.
Some people
I
are
can't take
allergic.
it anymore. All right, forget it. Go to a break. And we are back with our third and final round for cat lovers only. Kevin's going to start us off with 3 minutes on the clock with the bride's final point starting now.
I just got done wiping the water off from spitting it all over the computer because I was laughing so hard and everything just happened in round 2. So let me try to get my thoughts together and give you the pièce de résistance, the killing blow as to why the bride would win this. Determination and brain power. That's right. She's got a ironclad mind and a will that is absolutely unstoppable. The only opponents that Leatherface has faced are scared kids and helpless victims that run just at the sight of him. They have no will to live. They make terrible decisions, as does every victim in these types of horror movies. And Leatherface just gets to easily breathe through them. This is not the case with the bride. The bride is committed and determined and unstoppable. In all of her battles, she was disadvantaged. There were either more people or they had better weapons than her, or she was fighting, I don't know, after getting out of a coma or digging out of a grave, and none of that stopped her. How is she actually going to kill Leatherface? How is she going to stop him? I don't know. She could rip out his eyes. She ripped out someone's eye in the middle of a fight. She's going to cut his head off. In one swipe, she scalped a deadly assassin, one of the deadliest assassins, and killed her. She has so many tools at her disposal that to fight and absolutely just obliterate Leatherface. The horror story here is what's going to happen to Leatherface. I feel bad for him. I wouldn't want to watch it. I probably wouldn't sleep at night after watching what she's going to do to him. She's better prepared. She's trained, and she under the tutelage of one of the greatest martial arts masters. She learned how to strengthen her mind and her body, so she's prepared for every eventuality. And this isn't even on the same level. And she, by the way, she's also incredibly intelligent. I mean, if we're going to talk this whole political science debate that I don't know where that came from, she speaks multiple languages. She's a learned person. She's a strategist. She's intelligent. Leatherface is a lumbering lummox who, at the best, can throw a chainsaw at somebody and hope it sticks.
30 seconds remaining.
This isn't even going to be close. It's going to be an absolute brutality. She's a survivor. She's a trained, honed, merciless killer who, when she puts her mind to something, and trust me, she's going to put her mind to killing Leatherface, he's not going to stand a chance. It's not, you know what? I don't even think Leatherface will land a hit. I don't think so. I think she'll probably cut his arm off. And that'll be it.
All right, Robert Clark Chan, 1 minute for your counterpoint. Can Leatherface land that hit? Starting now.
Rip his eyes out? Sure. Do you think that, first off, whose eyes are going to rip out? He's got another pair of eyes on top of his eyes. I mean, I've been called Four Eyes before. I feel like Leatherface has definitely got that one over on me. But I also don't think that ripping one or both of his eyes out is going to stop him. You could cut his head off, sure. Let's get a decapitation count. Let's see who's better at cutting off heads, who's done it more often. I feel like Leatherface has got that one. She's intelligent. Absolutely. I love her. She's a great character. She's very intelligent. She's multilingual. How many languages is she going to be screaming in when he cuts her feet off? He comes back. You're talking about determination, and I feel like as determined as a human can be, an animal, like especially someone like Leatherface, he's just working at that base instinctual level. The animal will chew its own leg off.
All right, if you want to finish that, you can do that in your point number 3. 3 minutes on the clock, starting now.
Listen, I'm going to bring up a term here that makes a lot of people angry. Plot armor. It's the idea that someone can't be beat because the story decides that he can't be beat. For a lot of people, that's BS. But what it truly speaks to is the power of story. What is the story here? The story of the bride is a story of a vengeance, the story of a woman wronged who reclaims what is hers with righteous fury. The story of Leatherface is a story of violation, not of a chainsaw violating pretty young girls, but of self-important, ignorant city folk invading rural homes simply to kick people when they're down. The bride is good at killing. There's no denying it, but she doesn't make her way through the entirety of the deadly Viper assassination squad if it were an ordinary Tuesday. She doesn't kill them all unless they kill her friends, kill her fiance. She thinks they kill her baby and put her in a coma for years. She is a vengeful spirit. She needs you to attack first. You know what Leatherface never does? Attack first. He's not wandering around the local Walmart looking for people to kill. He only defends himself when you drive past all the go away signs and the keep out signs and the we eat people here signs, all the creepy people telling you to go back, and they poke their nose where it doesn't belong. It's way more likely that Beatrix Kiddo runs out of gas and wanders onto the Sawyer's land. And what does that sound like to you? Is that vengeance or is it invasion? I ask you, is it more likely that Leatherface is going to be in Kiddo's movie, or will Kiddo be in his? And to be clear, I don't know that Leatherface can kill as formidable a foe as the bride, but he doesn't need to, because I think there's a strong case here that we're not in her movie. We're in his. The trope here isn't the kung fu student getting vengeance on a rival dojo for killing her master. The trope here is, wait for it, Ray, the final girl. Texas Chainsaw Massacre arguably created this trope. And you know what I think? I think the bride is a final girl.
30
You're right,
seconds
Kevin.
remaining.
She's a survivor. I think she survives Leatherface. She's driven away, having a mental breakdown as Leatherface dances like a maniac with his chainsaw. Did he kill her? Maybe not. Did he beat her decisively? Hell yeah. She's a survivor, but she is not a winner.
All right, Kevin, and with that, we have 1 minute left for your final counterpoint. 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Listen, I promise here and today that I will be the first person to attend Robert Clark Chan's protest of city folk invading rural America, and I will stand next to him with my sign that says, "Get out, you city folk, you don't belong." And then right after that, I'll laugh as the bride runs a sword through Leatherface's face. And by the way, thank you for not killing her. That's going to work out well. How'd that work out for all the people that didn't kill her in the movie? You know what? She ended up killing them. That's very kind of you. Not wise, but kind. At least on his tombstone, we can write, he was a nice guy with a chainsaw, but probably not the smartest. This is what, and by the way, she just doesn't have these abilities out of revenge. She's a trained killer. She was an assassin. She was out there doing all of this before the revenge. That just further motivated her. She's already a trained badass. She doesn't need this sense of revenge to be a badass. She already has all of that training. This just further encourages her. And by the way, knowing that Leatherface killed a bunch of innocent people and hurt them will probably motivate the bride just enough to end his life. There's not going to be any sequels to this movie, folks.
All right. Well, this has been a very insane matchup, and I'm really revved and ready for Ray and I to tear through this debate with our decisions. And might I even say they might just be a cut above the rest, but we'll be back with our thoughts.
Made. Two figures met in collision. Now let's find out who would win. It's time to hear Sam's decision.
All right, I'm going to start us off, and then we'll get to Ray, who also has things to say apparently. But look, this was such an unexpected debate. Kevin came in strong with, the training, the kills, the Hattori Hanzo sword, making an amazing point that the bride will not fall to fear, which I think is a big part of Leatherface's presence. Chan came back with the counterpoint, not even the point, full of feats of destruction, from literal feats to cars, and then the durability of a man who's been, knocked out, shot, all of those things, and keeps going like an Energizer bunny with a chainsaw. For me, the question quickly became, can Leatherface land the blow? Can the bride avoid every attack? And I think the case was made, and oddly by Chan, that the bride would be able to actually parry the chainsaw lightsaber style. So now this becomes, can she land 1,000 cuts? Or would it only take crazy 88? The bride constantly fights up, fighting multiple opponents, better swords, and can Leatherface withstand the 1,000 cuts, or is this honeymoon already over? Take this with a shotgun grain of salt, but I hate to be the ring bearer of bad news. For me, the bride is a cut above the rest. She doesn't have the fear, she's fast and agile, and even though she might take more than a crazy 88, she lands her hits, and Make-A-Wish kids, I think the bride takes this. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm gonna have to send you down the aisle, but I can toss you a bouquet. Giving this to Kevin. But of course, that is just my opinion. Let's see what Ray has to say, and then it'll go to the community.
How do you even begin to put together the arguments that were made today? Kevin, I thought, came out the gate extremely strong, talking about some of the physical feats, some of the people that she's killed, and some of the basic stuff that I absolutely think should have been covered in point number one. And then Chan comes back with sort of big man strategy that and I've seen, one of the Kill Bill movies, and I don't remember Beatrix Kiddo fighting somebody the size of Leatherface. And maybe she did. It's been at least like 20 years since I've seen this movie. And, there it goes. That being said, point number two is where we started to get really, really wild. Kevin did a lot of doubling up on some of the points that he was making and talking some of the mentality and some of that as these later points went on. And Robert Clark Chan took us on a history lesson, but I think it did work though. I do think that paid off eventually, in that he was explaining a vibe. He wasn't talking so much about the specifics of one punch here, one kick there. It was more of the overwhelming force of character that Leatherface was going to be bringing to the table that Beatrix has never, dealt with before. And then we got to point number three where we put it all on the line. And then definitely Kevin kind of talking about that, that house of 1,000 cuts strategy, that she was just going to land a bunch of hits, put him down, potentially just wear him down with the blade, or in fact decapitate him. Definitely that worked. That the whole argument worked. But on the other side, Chan continued back with sort of this big man strategy. A few of the things that Chan put on the table, I didn't really hear counterpointed by Kevin. Things, such as, where this battle is going to take place. I don't think Kevin ever really talked about that at all. And if we give Leatherface any kind of home field advantage whatsoever, or even a neutral location that still plays to his strengths, I would be worried, because even in the arguments that were presented, the bride still takes a lot of hits. She still gets hit with a shotgun. She still gets buried underground. And Chan made a great counterpoint. Yes, she survived getting shot in the head, but it took 4 years for her to come back. So she's not somebody who bounces back necessarily right away from a grievous wound. The question that leaves in my brain with all of this, can Leatherface just get his hands on her? And given the way she fights, given the way that she will absolutely step forward, like you said, she doesn't step back. She steps forward with her mentality to get those sword hits in. Do I think she can land a death blow while Leatherface allows that hit to come in so he can grab her and be physically dominant with her? I think it could happen exactly like that. And I think that once Leatherface gets his hands on her, all he's got to do is put her up on a hook somewhere. And I've played enough Dead by Daylight to know, as Chan said, those hooks are everywhere. I think that Robert Clark Chan did just enough in a very close battle that I kept going back and forth on. I think Beatrix Kiddo ends up on the hook and takes longer than 2 minutes to wriggle herself off of it, which she would. But at that point, this who would win battle is over. I give it to Leatherface and Robert Clark Chan by just a little bit.
All right, well, that is my opinion. That is Ray's opinion, but it doesn't matter what we said. Ultimately, this comes down to you, the viewer, the listener. You can go over to our Patreon and vote for who you think won this. Patreon.com/whowouldwinmasters. Yeah, this was really back and forth, and the slightest sneeze could have turned this either way, I think, for either character. This was great. Well done to both of you. Ray's wrong, but that's
I think the people have been siding with me so far, Sam, but
I don't have a good
off.
track record with these tournaments, but in the normal ones, I have a great track record.
I mean, you've got a pretty good track record there. That's true.
It's all right.
So let's hear from our competitors one last time, starting with Kevin Israel. Kevin, any last words for the people at home who now will vote on everyone's fate?
Yeah, Ray's breaking his own rule in his judgment. Where did these hooks come from? She's going to put him on a hook in a neutral environment. Ray, do you know the show you host?
No, let me tell you, I played Dead by Daylight, Kevin, and it doesn't matter if you're in suburbia,
I think you need to go outside and get some daylight. You need to go get a breath of fresh air and read the rules of your own show.
North Hollywood's nothing but hooks. I walk outside the street to get the paper. Hooks aplenty.
Thank you.
It's kind of a wild
place. There's no hooks, Jerry. No hooks.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but in the, the Zen Garden in the snow with Oren Ishii, tons of hooks just hanging from the sky.
Tons of hooks?
That's right.
Hooks.
He'll find a hook. If there's not a hook, he'll make one. That's what I know about Leatherface. Chan, any last words for the people at home?
This is I'm going to level with you. I'm going to be honest. Kind of a tough battle. Like I said, I'm not above picking up a little sand, throw it in the eyes. If you want to find me on Discord, just go ahead and at me in the Who Would Win Discord and heap your abuse on me, and maybe I can change your mind there.
That's fair. I've heard people campaigning for votes before. I'll continue the debate with you.
Yeah,
bro.
I will spit on your corpse.
I've never heard that strategy, and maybe somebody should go take him up on it.
Wow. All right. Kevin, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
KevinIsrael.com is my website. I'm a stand-up comedian. All my dates and calendar is up there. You can find me on social media at Kevin Israel Comedy. And I am almost as funny as Ray is when he's trying to run his own show.
And Robert Clark Chan, do you have any socials you want to promote aside from our Discord, which thank you?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably on Blue Sky. You can find the podcast Knowing's Half the Podcast, where we get podcasts, or AE Doubleback. If you're
Okay.
into All Elite Wrestling, I don't know. That's probably all the podcasts I have right now.
You might have 3 more you don't even know about.
Yeah,
It's
you're just
entirely
sleeping through 'em.
possible.
Chan is
black out,
actually,
like,
yeah, he's been in a coma
Fight
for
Club.
4 years, but still podcasting the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ray, any last words before we sign off?
No, I love this battle. It absolutely
Yeah.
delivered on all cylinders. It was just as weird as I could have possibly wanted.
Yeah.
And I hope the people at home enjoyed it as much as I did. Go to our Patreon, make your votes, do the thing. This has been delightful.
Yeah, this was a fantastic fourth tournament round episode.
It was almost a Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So thank you all for listening. And yes, go over to the Discord and throw virtual sand at each other, however that works. Go make sure you vote. Patreon.com/whowouldwinmasters. And if you think you've got what it takes to jump in the challenger's chair for one of our normal episodes, send us a 1-minute video demo of yourself to whowouldwinmasters@gmail.com. And we might see you on a future show. For Who Would Win Masters, this is Sam Proof. We'll see you in the arena.